I am late for a very important date. I meant for this video to go up a little bit earlier, but Microsoft was very late with their Games with Gold announcement this year, and then the day it came out was the one day that I didn't look, and so I'm a little bit behind, but I'm going to try to get this up as soon as I can, and I'm going to try to keep these short just because, you know, there's no incredible games coming out this month. Last month I thought was a lot better, but, you know, that's not the important thing. So we're going to jump right into the first game here. We're going to talk about the two Xbox One games first. Now, the first one I wanted to talk about is Assassin's Creed Chronicles Russia. This game, it's a decent game. Now, here's how I feel about these games. When you think of Assassin's Creed, typically these are 3D platformers, and not even necessarily platformers. They're 3D action games where you go on missions and assassinate people and backstab, and you can use all kinds of stealth and stuff. The interesting thing about the Assassin's Creed Chronicles games is they take a lot of that away. It turns itself into something that more feels like a phone game. There still is some stealth components, and certainly you can't get through levels without killing anybody or without getting seen or things like that, and there are bonuses to that, but it's a side-scroller. And so there's a lot less thought that goes into the game. The arsenal you have is a lot smaller, and so these games play a lot differently. And so I do want to warn you about that before you really jump into this game. For those that haven't heard of the Chronicles games, I think might jump in thinking, ooh, we have an Assassin's Creed game, it's awesome. But it is a lot different. It only has a 58% on OpenCritic, and so the scores for this game are relatively low. If you're into those types of phone games and you typically play games like that, I think there's lots of enjoyment to be found in this game. But again, it's a 2.5D platformer, so you know, take with that what you will. This game takes place during the October Revolution of 1918, but even though it has kind of a cool setting to work with, it doesn't really do a whole lot with that. It's more about your character, who's, by the way, an assassin named Nikolai, which is pretty awesome. That's a super Russian name. But it's more about your character escaping Russia. So instead of like fighting and killing enemies that are involved in the October Revolution, you're more trying to run away. And so it's a little bit different. And in terms of the main character, and in terms of character development, Nikolai is actually a relatively flat character. There's not a lot of fun development. These games typically don't do a lot with the main characters or anything like that, which is kind of sad. So the gameplay is relatively flat, but again, it's worth a shot. If you like these types of games, or if you're an Assassin's Creed fan, it's worth checking out. And this game will be free from June 1st to June 30th. Now, the second Xbox One game I want to talk about is the Smite Gold Bundle, and this will be released is the Smite Gold Bundle, and this is going to be free from June 16th to July 15th. Now this game, you're probably thinking, why is this on here? Smite's a free game. Well, it is, but we're talking about the Gold Bundle here. Now, they essentially are saying this is worth about $100 in microtransactions on there, which is pretty crazy if that's true. They say you're going to get about 20 extra gods, as well as 50 bonus items, which includes things like skins, announcer packs, things like that. So it's a free game, but you're getting a lot of cool content. And so if you're someone that plays Smite already, this is worth doing because then you get extra stuff for your Smite game. If you haven't played Smite, this is probably a good time to jump in. We're talking about the Xbox One specifically, and the player base is still pretty healthy. There's a lot of people that are on there that are still playing Smite, so you're not going to have problems finding matches. There's no shortage of players or anything like that. And it's a very popular MOBA. You know, when you think of MOBAs, you typically think of games like League of Legends and stuff, but Smite is up there too, and I know Smite is very popular on consoles, and so I also know it's one that's easy to get into. My friend Erik, who's actually a part of the Nintendudez, but hasn't been anything in a long time, really tried to get me into the game. I just never got into it because I can't stay committed to a game for too long, but he is addicted to the game. He says how fun it is. The premise of the game is that it's 5v5, and the goal is to kill the other team's Titan. So whichever team does that first is the winner. And during the match, you buy upgrades and abilities and things like that to make your god stronger and unlock new abilities and things like that. So it's a fantastic game. It has a really good rating on OpenCritic. It's an 81%, and so it's totally worth picking up. Again, this one will not be free June 1st, but it will be free starting June 16th to July 15th. And so those are our two Xbox One games. Now moving on to the Xbox 360 games. The first one we have is Sonic and All-Star Racing Transformed. Now this is a game that I actually have played before, though I own it for the Wii U. It's a fun racing game, less like something like Gran Turismo or you know, Project Cars and things like that. This game is a lot more like Mario Kart. That can be expected. Sonic is in Sonic the Hedgehog. The tracks in the game are diverse. Typically, when we have games that are similar to a Mario game, we tend to see that they're not as diverse and not as fun. PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale comes to mind of a lackluster cast, but Sega has a lot of fun characters. You know, you have the characters from Monkey Ball, Sonic, and a lot of the Sonic characters like Tails and things like that. So there's a lot of really good characters in this game that I think makes it worth picking up. Sega has a really fun cast to work with, and so there's a lot going on, and the tracks are very diverse. You know, it's not just the same old stuff. So I'm going to keep it short. If you like cartoon racing style games, this game is definitely worth picking up. It has decent scores. On OpenCritic, it has an 82%, which actually makes it the highest rated game that's coming out for free this month, so that's worth looking into. It has a very easy learning curve. Obviously, it's a game that's geared toward children, and the game features part where your car can transform into a boat and plane. So that's fun. You know, it's not just a race. There's flying sections, there's water sections, so things like that. So it's really cool. Definitely worth picking up. This game will be free from June 1st to June 15th. And the last game that we're going to talk about is also the Xbox 360. And again, I do want to mention, both of these are backwards compatible, so both Sonic and All-Star Racing and this game are available to be played on Xbox One. The second game for Xbox 360 is LEGO Indiana Jones 2: The Adventure Continues. Now, it has that fancy 2 in it, but this is less of a sequel and more of a redesign. This game is going to take place in the original 4 Indiana Jones movies, the latest movie being the Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. So unlike the first game, that movie's featured, but it also features the original 3 movies that the original Indiana Jones Lego video game did have. Outside of that, this is a typical run-of-the-mill LEGO game. It features a 2-player mode that's split screen. It also has a fun little level creator mode where you can make your own traps and objects and things like that and establish your own level. And so that's really cool. I like games that have level creators, and obviously it's a LEGO game, it's geared toward children. So the level creator is actually pretty easy to use and it's pretty fun to get involved with. As expected, it's a LEGO game. I keep saying that. It lacks any sort of solid online play. So if you're expecting this online incredible experience, you're looking in the wrong place, and you should know that it's a LEGO game. But it's fun for what it is. You know, we know what these types of games are like, and if you go into it telling yourself, yeah, this is a LEGO game, you're going to enjoy it. You know, it knows its audience, and it puts out enough content to entertain people that are looking for that type of experience. I personally am not much of a LEGO gamer, but if you are, or if it looks like something you're interested in, I think it's worth checking out. Didn't receive the greatest scores. It typically was mixed, about a 71% on Metacritic. But again, I think that's because a lot of people aren't into that style. So I still think it's worth checking out. That game will be free from June 16th to June 30th. So thanks for watching, everybody. Let me know in the comment section down below which of these games that you plan on picking up this month, if you think Xbox Games with Gold is worth it this month, or if it feels like a down month. Thanks everyone for watching. Bye-bye.